everyone, welcome to the Juniper Links accounting channel, and today we're going to go over client entertaining as a business expense. So I'm sure you've run into this before. You've taken clients out for a meal or a drink or even over a business meeting to discuss certain things, and obviously, these were incurred as a result of running your business. So are they actually allowable expenses for you to claim from your company? First, let's establish what client entertaining is exactly. So these would be things like business meetings with clients over lunch or dinner. So let's say you paid for lunch or dinner in order to discuss certain things, and you kind of paid for this for them just as a courtesy. Same with buying drinks like alcohol, coffee, things like that. All of these are client entertaining expenses. Taking out clients to functions or events, paying for their taxis to get there, and also gifts for clients. So we'll go through all of these and what exactly it means for your company and what it can claim for tax relief. So is client entertaining allowable? Only if the expense or what you've purchased is wholly and exclusively for the purpose of business would the entertaining be allowable. In most cases, there is absolutely no way you can put client entertaining through your company as an allowable expense for tax relief. And I specifically said tax relief because it's still a legitimate business expense. So this means if you are taking out clients for business meetings to discuss things regarding obviously trading activities you're carrying out, but you pay for their food and drink, it's entertaining, but your company is still incurring a legitimate expense, just not for tax relief. So this is the key word here. So this means there would be no VAT to reclaim and no corporation tax relief on these costs. However, you would not be personally out of pocket either. Because they're legitimate expenses, your company can repay you for these as legitimate expenses. It just can't receive any tax relief when it comes to do the VAT return or the company accounts. So it'll be deducted as a cost, but then it'll be added back into the calculation so that there is no tax relief on those expenses. Basically, if you do take out clients for non-business related entertainment, these will be personal expenses that you have personally incurred as a gesture for the client or something like that. Basically, these are not allowable for your company either, even as a non-tax relief business expense. And in fact, if your company were to repay you for these non-business entertaining costs, you would likely incur a benefit in kind on those as the employee being reimbursed for something that technically was not a business expense at all. So you got to be careful of that. If they're always related to business entertaining, as in taking clients out for meetings related to the company's trading activities, or simply discussing projects you're working on at the moment and you buy lunch for the client during this time, then these are all business related entertaining costs. So your company can still repay you for these, but it can't get any tax relief. And alcohol is always a no-go for tax relief, regardless of what you're doing with that. Same with food, if you're buying food for other clients. So I'll get into that in a second here. Let's say you take out a client for a business meeting and you buy lunch and dinner for both yourself and the client. So in this case, the staff portion of the meal, so your meal that your company is paying for, would be allowable for tax relief because it's similar to a normal subsistence claim for business purposes. So if you are, let's say, a sales rep, and it doesn't have to be a sales rep, it could be anything like project management, anything where you had to travel on behalf of your company in order to meet with clients or go to a specific location. And on those journeys, you had to buy lunch while you were out. And obviously, this is a cost that is a direct result of you carrying out business, which means it's allowable for corporation tax relief and any VAT that might have been on that purchase. So again, that's a normal subsistence claim. So if you were going to take out a client for a meeting over lunch and dinner, and you had to go travel there, meet with the client on behalf of your company, that is also a subsistence expense for yourself. Obviously, the portion of the lunch that you paid for that was for your client would not be allowable. That would be business entertaining. So make sure that you do separate out your portion of the meal whenever you're meeting with clients, because that is still allowable for tax relief and you can still save a bit of money there. Okay, so let's look at some examples of allowable entertaining. So this is allowable in the case of being able to claim tax relief on them, as well as not being out of pocket. So they're legitimate business expenses, and they're also allowable for tax relief. Certain gifts to clients, excluding food, drink, and tobacco. And I have a link available for you to look at in a minute here, which will go into more specific examples of these. But basically, you want to never include any entertaining that involves food, drink, or tobacco for tax relief purposes, because it's just not allowable. Gifts provided as part of a sale, for example, flowers. So this is more of an expense that was a result of making the sale. So when they're kind of bundled together like this, it becomes a direct result of the trading activity rather than an additional gift with nothing received in return. Certain gifts to charity or other specific bodies. So there are some allowable expenses if you're making charitable donations from your company or gifts from your company to charities. And if you're not sure on any of these, of course, always discuss this with a professional, so an accountant or a tax advisor that can help you determine whether an expense would be allowable for tax relief or even as a business expense but not for tax relief. And the final one is staff entertaining or the Christmas party allowance. So staff entertaining is absolutely fine in most cases as a normal business expense for tax relief, as long as the entertaining is available to all members of staff, so it's not just a select group of people, and it doesn't exceed a certain price point. So for example, with the Christmas party allowance, your company can pay up to £150 per head towards the Christmas party allowance. So if you had a function, an event that all staff were invited to, and the entire cost of that event did not exceed £150 per person, then your company could pay for the entire event and get tax relief on that cost. So this is a good way to kind of get a little bit of extra bonus from your company, to take out money from your company without having to pay personal taxes on that, and also get a little bit of tax relief against your trading profits. It doesn't have to be one single function either. It can be multiple events over the year, as long as the total cost does not exceed this £150 per head. If it does, then the entire expense is no longer allowable and would just be an entertaining cost. So be careful of that. HMRC is very specific with this. They don't want you to claim it if it's over 150. You can't even claim just 150 as the portion. It has to be either under, at 150, or nothing. So be careful of that as well. Okay, so these are the helpful links I was talking about earlier. This first one here is HMRC's internal manual on business entertaining and what they consider to be exempt or what they consider to be not allowable for tax relief purposes or disallowable altogether from your company and would incur benefit in kind. So take your time to read through, and ultimately you want professional advice on this if it is complicated. So you can try and do it yourself, but just be careful because there's a lot of information to go through. And this second link here is a more general summary of expenses and benefits related to entertainment costs. And this will specifically go through the non-business entertainment costs that your company may incur. So things that are unrelated to its trading activities. You're not having client meetings to discuss a project. Instead, you are taking them out golfing or something like that, you know, where it's just purely entertainment wise to butter up your clients. And maybe your intention later on is to get some kind of deals with them or result in a new contract. Obviously, these could be in a grey area. For the most part, where the entertainment is not business related, not related to your trading activities, these would be disallowable completely and would incur benefit in kind taxes to the employee who paid for them if they do get reimbursed by their company. So just keep that in mind and feel free to check those out in your own time. Thanks so much for watching this video. I know it was a short one, but I just wanted to cover entertaining costs. So staff entertaining is fine. Client entertaining, on the other hand, is almost never allowable for corporation tax relief, so you have to be careful with those. But they are often allowable as a normal business expense, so you are not personally out of pocket. But again, if the function is not trading or not business related, then these would be disallowable completely as a business expense. So if your company does reimburse you for this, you may have to report some extra benefits received during the year on a P11D form. You may want to get professional advice or a professional opinion on this if you are planning to do something like that. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you guys do need an accountant, feel free to email us at hello@juniperlinks.com. We primarily work with limited companies who are providing services, in some cases who are also selling products online that they've made themselves, for example, or just freelancing for clients. So for example, IT consulting, project management, that sort of thing. If you're doing that and looking for an accountant, then feel free to email us at the address provided here. And if you've got a question related to this video, then please leave them in the comments below and we will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And also don't forget to subscribe if you are interested in more videos like this. Hit that like button if you found this video helpful. Obviously that lets me know that we did a good job. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching and I hope you have an amazing day.